What up, y'all? So in this video, I'm going to go over more advanced powers. So I was filming half the video, the camera was blurry and I didn't even notice it. So I'm just going to voice over it with this picture right here. And then it's going to start playing me drawing it halfway through the video. So the first power, if you look to the left, on the left side of the paper of the man standing next to the little house. Okay. So as you get more advanced, you start to be able to generate flight from within. So you start to be able to just go out in the street and then rise up like Jesus. And then if you look at the top right there, that's when I rise up, I'll probably rise up like 100 feet or like 80 feet or something like that. And then I could see the huge landscape of the astral projection, and then usually I can see off in the distance, I can see a city with buildings, and I will fly towards the buildings. Straight how those lines are pointing, you see it looks like a acute angle. So the bottom line that's going straight across the paper, that's when I look at the buildings, I could just fly straight towards them like that. You can go as fast as you want. I mean, you can go so fast that you pretty much teleport to it. So basically, you just look where you want to go and then you just imagine flying towards it. So when you're raising up, when you get advanced, you could just feel like you're flying. It actually feels like a unique feeling, like moving your arm, or what it feels like to run. Like it feels like a legitimate feeling that's different than anything you felt before. It's like literally if you could fly in real life, and there's a feeling that you just have to do the flying feeling to make yourself fly. So if you see on the top part of the acute angle, the line that's going up at an angle, sometimes when you try to fly forward, you will you'll try to fly forward, you'll start flying in a different direction than the direction that you're looking at. So you'll be like trying to go towards the building, but for some reason you're moving up when you're trying to go forward. That's happened to me a bunch of times. So now, if you look into the bottom right, you'll see a bunch of stick figures with a bunch of weird things going on. So what I'm talking about right there is this power is very advanced. I didn't start being able to do this power until 10 years after I started astral projecting. And what it is basically you can go up to an object. Like you can go up to I went up to like a statue and it was holding a spear, and I imagined the spear coming off of the statue and then floating up above my right shoulder. And I consciously thought of it as becoming an automatic attack weapon that just floats next to me. And if I ever get near an enemy, it will automatically attack them. And, it worked. I saw one of my enemies, not a real life enemy, but in the whole dream story, I had enemies in the dream, and it attacked one of those enemies automatically without me even thinking about it. So that's what's going on in this little picture to the bottom right. Basically, as I'm walking along, I'm walking, got the spear and the branch. I see an op come near me trying to attack me. The tree branch flies towards the op and starts messing the op up, starts attacking the op without me consciously thinking about it. Okay, now I'm gonna explain it in a little bit more detail because this is very crazy. I didn't think about the branch attacking the op. I was just looking at the op thinking how I'm physically gonna attack the op. I was not thinking about the branch attacking the op. But when I set the instructions for the objects to float near me and imagine them to be attacking weapons, it's almost like it got stored in my brain subconsciously that that's what they're gonna do when we get near an enemy, and it automatically did it as if it had its own set of instructions that were locked away in a certain little section of my brain that told it what to do without me even thinking about it. Okay, so it attacked the op. All right, and this happened. This actually happened. I did this. So that is a very interesting power. I probably only did it 1 or 2, maybe 3 times. I can't exactly remember. I'd have to sit here and think about it for a while, but I know for sure that this is the first time it happened. It was the most significant time also. I think I had it one more time near my house And I don't think I came across the enemy, but I had it floating on next to my shoulder again in another time, some other object. So that's creating automatic attack weapons. Okay, this is a very advanced power. In this power, you gotta be in it for a while to be able to figure out how to do this. All right, another power that you could do is controlling entities. So say I'm right here, astral projection. I see two people right here. Okay, they're walking, they're together walking. And I imagine, I look at them and I go, those two people right there, I want them to attack each other. I want them to attack each other. So I just imagine that this entity is going to start attacking this entity. All right. So next thing you know, that entity turns around and starts attacking that entity. Okay, so you can make an entity come over to you. Say they're walking, they're not even looking at you. They're looking over here. You can make them come over to you and start to talk to you. So you can control entities. So when you see some person walking around, the projection doesn't necessarily have to be a person. I've had things that literally, you know, look like something like this, you know, floating in the air, dancing around, is a conscious entity that I could talk to. I had some little thing that looked like this. I won't believe. I mean, the shit I could tell y'all about these projections just goes on and on. I had some little entity that looked like this. Some weird looking cartoon thing that was up in the air on some sort of airship that we were on, that I was talking to. It was actually small. It was actually like this big, actually. And I'm talking to that thing. And no, that's not an elf. It was some other weird thing. So basically, you can control all the entities. Now, you can't always control them. Okay, there's a lot of times, I don't know, y'all like watch horror movies and stuff like that. The creatures in the horror movies can be in your astral projections. Okay, if you find a particular horror movie creepy, that creature can be in the astral projection. All right, you can, like I was telling y'all about in the previous video about the powers, you could fly through a house. Like, okay, say you're flying through a house and you're outside of it, you want to do the thing. You say you're flying. Okay, so you're going to do powers and combinations once you get advanced. So you'll be flying and you'll imagine going through the wall while you're flying at the same time. So say you go through the wall. Okay, bomb. You pop up in the house now. Random house. Now you're inside of the house. Okay, there's a couch right here. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? TV. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Might be a little dark in the house. There might not be any lights anywhere that are on, or you might barely be able to see what's going on. Okay, say you got a horror movie, say it's Michael Myers or something like that. Okay, you might go in that house and you might see Michael Myers in that house. Literally. You'll fly through the house and you will see Michael Myers in the house with a little knife. Okay? So when you're flying through these walls and you're flying through that wall, it's kind of like you pulling the lever on one of them casino random slot machine things where you pull in, you don't know what you're going to get. That's what happens when you fly through these walls. You don't know what you're going to encounter when you get through the wall. Now, when you come across an entity like this is a demon. I would consider it to be in the category of a demon. You ain't going to control this entity. Okay, I've controlled them a couple times, but they are extremely hard to control because this situation becomes a terrifying experience. Your prefrontal cortex starts to lose control a little bit because you get that fear reaction in certain parts of the brain. Whatever, that's neuroscience. I'm not going to get all into that, but you lose control. You lose control of that calm ability to just say, come here, entity, and, you know, do this, entity. That's when you're in a calm scenario. When you get in a scenario where you're stuck in a dark house and you got this Michael Myers thing and these powers don't always work all the time. So you don't know that you could just go through the wall and fly out and it's going to work every time, because when you're a beginner or an intermediate, these powers, half the time, they don't even work. Half the time you try to go through the wall and it's like you're hitting a brick wall and you don't go through it. So as you get more advanced, there's different methods that you can do to deal with these. And I'm going to talk about that next up. So there's entities you can't control also. Okay. Now let's talk about a power that you got to do when you encounter this situation. You flew through the crib, you flew through the wall. Now you're inside the crib and you come across a demon. Now what do? You lose the ability to do a lot of powers. You're scared. What you do is you close your eyes. Oh, this is darkness now. You're here, but it's all darkness now. You close your eyes in the astral projection. Now you can't see nothing. Now what you do is you can still feel him though, because all of this shit. Okay, this is where it gets a little crazy. Even though you're not looking at it, this is all still here. So when you're standing in the little house, even though it's a dream world or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't real. It's real to me. It's just a different form of real. All of this stuff is still there. If you close your eyes for like 5 seconds and open them back up, there might be a object, like there might be a refrigerator that just randomly pops up that wasn't there when you had your eyes open. But when you close your eyes for like 5 seconds, most of this stuff is going to be there, and this demon thing is going to be there still. So you will feel it, even though you can't see it. So what you got to do is you got to imagine everything is darkness, and you got to imagine extreme aggression towards the demon monster thing. Okay, so even though you can't see it, you generally have an idea of where it is. Now you got to close your eyes and just imagine you're just tearing the thing up, just obliterating it, just swinging at it like crazy and just trying to tear it up. That's what you have to think of. Okay, if you get scared and you cower like a little scared person, this thing is just gonna attack you, and you're gonna feel it attacking you until you wake up, and that can take like 10 seconds, and it's a very horrifying experience and can make you scared in future astral projections. You just imagine that you just close your eyes and imagine obliterating it, and the dream will end in 5 seconds or 10 seconds, and you won't experience any sort of pain or anything like that. So that's another power that you could do. It took me a while to figure that out, but you can just totally negate any sort of nightmarish astral projection experience by just doing this. Okay. Now, after you start doing this, after you figure out that you could do this, you become less scared of future events of seeing a demon, because you know you could just do this. So then you gain confidence. Now, you still don't want to fly up in a house and there be a demon in there, because it's still scary, because it's like 95% as real life. So, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to experience that regardless. But you know in the back of your mind that I could just do this if anything happens.